As we finish this week on answering and responding to the call of God, I want to direct your attention to the final parable, if you will, in Matthew chapter 25, verses 31 through 46. This is the parable of the judgment of the nations. And just to back up for a moment, you may recall that in November, I preached on the parable of the 10 bridesmaids. That's the first part of Matthew 25. And the theme from that parable was the importance of being prepared for the return or the coming of the bridegroom. And then we shared about the parable of the talents and how the master goes away after entrusting his property to his slaves. And the theme of that story is really, are you using what you've been given, what's been entrusted to you? And then Matthew, thirdly, has Jesus share this story of the judgment of the nations. And if you read it in verses 31 to 46, you'll see not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. 4 times we hear this repeated statement about feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, visiting the sick, and those who are in prison. And that fourfold emphasis on the importance of sharing God's love in these practical, tangible ways that help to alleviate hardship and heartache and physical suffering is clearly centrally important to Matthew's presentation of who Jesus is and what you and I are called to do as his followers. And what's interesting to many people is that in this parable of the great judgment, and remember, in it Jesus is separating the sheep from the goats, and those who are, if you will, on the up escalator, who are going to a very good place, and those who are on the down escalator. The sole thing that separates people is, have you done these things? Have you shared God's love and mercy in tangible, practical ways with hurting people? There's nothing about you're going up because you made a faith statement about Jesus, which many of us find surprising. There's nothing there about what a person believed. It's all about, what did you do? And did you do it to the least of these? And that's our verse for the day, is verse 40. And the king will answer them, truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me. No matter how complicated Christian theology or the Bible may seem to you or to some people, you can really boil it down to loving God and loving people and sharing that love in practical, tangible ways with those who need it most. If we do that, we'll never go wrong.